Every year, public water supplies across the state mail out consumer confidence reports, a sometimes complicated document that is supposed to assure people that their drinking water is safe and alert them if there are any problems. Across the state, there are numerous drinking water supplies that have chronic problems with certain chemicals, and a new online database is highlighting them.
The Environmental Working Group database contains information on what's in the drinking water of communities nationwide. It includes information on the drinking water of 53 Oklahoma communities and water districts. David Andrews is a senior scientist at the Environmental Working Group. He says EWG built the database out of concern that people need more information.
We're really trying to highlight for consumers that the legal limit isn't based just on the safety of that contaminant at that level. It also includes economic considerations, political considerations. It involves lobbyists. It's a back and forth trade-off.
Among the contaminants for which there is still no national maximum contaminant level is hexavalent chromium, which is present in several Oklahoma drinking water supplies. Patty Thompson is the engineering manager for the Water Quality Division of the Oklahoma Department of Environmental Quality.
That's kind of a non-compliance contaminant. We do have some in the state.
Thompson says any water supply that has been found to contain chromium-6 has addressed the issue.
Water systems in the state that have it, they have stopped those wells. They have inactivated those wells and to protect public health.
The Environmental Group's database for the city of Mustang shows a level of 15.1 parts per billion of chromium-6 in their water, which, according to the Environmental Working Group, is well above the state and national levels. Mustang's most persistent problem has been with levels of arsenic. 6 times in the 5 years of the EWG study, that city's water supply was above the legal limit for arsenic.
We do have some arsenic, and it's got an MCL. And so we monitor that, and we keep it below the MCL, and if necessary, we do enforcement.
The Environmental Group's David Andrews says an example of the difference between the legal limit for a contaminant and what science says is an actually healthy limit is for arsenic.
It's extremely low concentration relative to the legal limit, and probably one of the biggest spreads for a regulated contaminant between the legal concentration and the ideal concentration or ideal maximum concentration of arsenic to avoid any potential health impact.
The current legal limit for arsenic in drinking water is 10 parts per billion.
And a limit that would represent just health concerns, and the avoidance of all potential health concerns really is 0.004 parts per billion.
We attempted to talk with the city manager of Mustang and their operations manager with Severn Trent, the private company that runs the community's public water system. Both refused to grant us an interview. DEQ's Patty Thompson is still confident, however, that overall the water Oklahomans get from the tap is safe. But there is one reoccurring issue with Oklahoma drinking water that she is most concerned about: E. coli outbreaks.
We, have to do the boil order, notify the people, and do public notice, and then take resamples to make sure that it's safe, and provide technical assistance to go out and help and make sure that we can find out what has caused it.
More than 1,100 public water supply systems in Oklahoma are required to comply with what is called the Stage 2 Disinfection by Products rule. More than 300 water systems are now in violation of that EPA rule.
And it's when the surface water comes in and has organic matter in it, and the chlorine combines with it and creates disinfection byproducts, chlorinated organics.
Thompson is dismissive of the risks from those organics, saying a person would have to drink a lot of water every day for a lifetime to have an elevated risk of developing cancer. DEQ has written to the EPA in response to a presidential executive order recommending that the rule be repealed or at least modified.
You have to create a sample site plan, and you have to take more than one sample depending on the size of your system. And so now you have all these sites that each one would be a violation if you exceeded, and it's a rolling annual average. And so you get a lot more violations.
For EWG's David Andrews, however, it is exactly those low levels of contaminants ingested over a long period of time they are concerned about.
We think the legal standards for drinking water contaminants are inadequate and really decades behind our current scientific understanding of how these chemicals may impact our bodies and may impact health at low concentrations.
The Oklahoma Department of Environmental Quality's 2016 Public Water Supply Annual Compliance Report found a total of 601 public water systems in violation of maximum contaminant levels or treatment techniques or monitoring and reporting. Every July, public water supply systems are required to issue consumer confidence reports for its customers. If you want more information than that, the EPA's Safe Drinking Water Information System is online at www.epa.gov and click on Environmental Topics and then on Water. The Oklahoma Department of Environmental Quality also has a drinking water site at www.deq.state.ok.us and click on Water Quality.